joining today. Thank you guys so much. We have Josh Moss on here today, and he is the Director of Alumni and Parent Relations. And Josh, we are so thankful to have you on here today. So thank you so much for joining us. If you guys are not an alumni and you think, why should I stay on this? I really highly recommend you stay on this. Josh has some great tips and just talking about the alumni office as well. So just stay on for the next 30 minutes. Josh, Can you just introduce yourself a little bit and tell our audience a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, so I've been working at CBU. This July I'll be finishing my third year. I've been an adjunct professor here actually about 7 years. I teach in the School of Ed and preparing teacher credential candidates, liberal studies capstone, leadership courses. And so I have a couple different roles. In my role as the alumni director, I oversee alumni and parent programming, events, things that are happening for them. And then also oversees our signature events division, which is responsible for hosting events for our donors and folks that are giving to the university and the institution, supporting us. And then my third role or hat that I wear is annual giving. So I also help support annual giving and specialized funds to help students with scholarships. So most of everything that we do in terms of raising money for the institution and advancement has been for scholarships for students.
Wow.
Now, the big part of what I do is really about engaging with folks. So we throw a lot of events in my office for alumni and parents. Predominantly, that's our main target and focus group. And we throw over 100 events a year on campus and actually all over the country. I get to do some really fun traveling and connect with alumni that are all over the country. So it's a lot of fun. So networking and connecting, engaging is the primary role that I facilitate.
Okay, and what's also like a little bit of your career journey as well?
Yeah, so
being a teacher at CBU.
Yeah, so I landed at CBU as an undergrad. I started there in '99, finished my undergrad, went on to pursue a teaching credential and a master's degree. And then where that led me was into a teaching job right down the street in the Alvord Unified School District. And after about 4 years in the classroom, I jumped into school administration. And I had three main roles in a leadership position over the course of those 14 years. I ended as a high school principal. Before that, I was a middle school principal. And then I ran intervention and after school programs for kids for about 3.5 years as my first leadership job, administrative job in the school district. And that's when I was recruited to teach in the School of Education, was when I was doing school leadership and administration in our local school district here. So most of my professional career has been in public education. And what's really unique and neat about my experience is I've hired a lot of people and supervised and evaluated and built teams and collaborated with tons and tons of different folks. And so I hope I get to talk about that a little bit today.
Perfect. So you kind of talked a little bit about the alumni department, what you guys do. And so I think you talked about engaging and like also support and whatnot, but how do maybe you like connect with possibly students and alumni?
Yeah, so our primary goals are to connect, engage, cultivate, and support our alumni and our parents. And what we do with that is connecting is about communication, connecting through social media. You can follow us at Alumni CBU, CBU Parents. And we're always putting out information about events and things that are happening, ways that you can support the institution, the ways you can get involved, things that are happening on campus. And we want our alumni to connect with us, come back to campus for events, follow our monthly newsletters and things like that we offer. Engage is primarily about events and getting people to come to events, both locally and throughout different regions. I've hosted events in Las Vegas, Seattle, Nashville, Tennessee, Arizona, Texas. We go kind of all over the place, which is a lot of fun. Cultivation for us is about finding alumni who want to take a leadership role and be volunteers. Like Rebecca, you graduated from CAVID, the College of Architecture and Visual Design. And we look for alumni like you who say, hey, I'd love to host an event for CAVID. Maybe it's bringing some alumni in to show some unique artwork and photography that they're doing. And you would team up with my office to host an event specifically where we would be inviting people from the CAVID department. So leadership, volunteers, and affinity groups, developing those groups within schools and colleges. We've hosted events for past ASCBU presidents, We've hosted events for athletic trainers, things like that. And then support. We want to offer benefits that are valuable, whether it's discounts on your car insurance because you're part of our association, which is an awesome benefit.
Yeah.
Discounts to rental cars when you're going on vacation. We have national programs you can receive discounts, whether you're getting a Jimmy John's sub or you're going to the movies or you're flying to Hawaii. So we offer benefits and things like that and opportunities. And we'll talk more about the Career Center.
Yeah. Okay. So also support. I think you forgot support a little bit.
Okay. So support, I'm sorry.
Benefits.
Sorry. Benefits and opportunities. Yeah.
No, that works. Also, we got a question and it says like, what will events look like in the current COVID-19 era?
Yeah, the big question. So we are literally sort of reinventing and reimagining what engagement and events look like for this coming year. So I'm on a team. It's about 21 Christian colleges and universities, and I'm actually one of the leaders of the team. And this is what we're talking about. There's a lot of sort of virtual fatigue right now. So are we going to host virtual events? What are we going to do? How's it going to look? Well, right now, our institution is hoping to reopen in the fall. That's our plans. And we're just sort of waiting to hear back from the governor's office and local public health authorities to say, can we continue to have events and what do those events look like? I've reviewed some national documents about events and parameters, and there's a lot of groups that are trying to get that going again. We don't have a course chartered yet on that. We're still in kind of the discovery phase and we're waiting for more information. I love that question though, because we aren't gonna stop trying to engage. Right. We may have to get creative. It may look a little bit different or it's going to look different, but we're really excited about it.
That's awesome. Okay, so one more question and then we're gonna stop for any other more audience questions. So I just knew that was kind of in our topic. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment them below, or there is that little box with the question mark, ask Josh some questions, and we'll stop in just a few minutes. So Josh, I've seen a couple of alumni that are actually on this live and Q&A right now. Yeah. So maybe what's one advice do you have for alumni right now during this pandemic that we're dealing with?
Yeah, so right now, I think our office has been focused intensively on praying for our students, praying for our parents, and praying for our alumni. And being really intentional. Like we've got a whole week coming up that we've dedicated to pray for our alumni. And what we are praying for and what we hope for is spiritual and mental well-being, health, financial security, and health and well-being. But my advice would be right now to be positive and persevere. I think it's really, really, really critical. We're kind of all on this roller coaster kind of right now, a little bit up, a little bit down. It's a Monday, it's a Tuesday. We're kind of like, every day feels the same. But be positive, stay positive, and persevere. The other big thing I would say is grow professionally. Like take advantage of this time to read that book that's been sitting on your shelf. I'll show you mine. I'll get personal here. The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry has been sitting on my shelf, recommended by a friend, for 6 months. Like I need to take advantage of this time and read. Extreme Ownership, another great book about leadership. So growing professionally would be what I would encourage alumni to do right now. Connect with the Career Center, look at your resume, have some conversations, a dialogue with folks when you're really, really busy, you just don't get around to it. And then balance, like get out and work out. Now's a great time to focus on eating healthy and, things like that. So be positive, persevere, balance, life, health, all those kinds of things would be sort of my advice for our alumni and probably our students.
Okay. And also when we were like kind of talking about this before as well, you said something about a dash of inspiration as well. And then also there's another thing along with that. So do you want to try to talk about that? Yeah.
So one of my in my role over the last couple of months, we launched a new endeavor called the Endurance Fund to help support CBU. And one of the things that we refer to the F word, fundraising, and it's typically seen and is like dreaded and it's felt like this really hard thing. Yeah. We call it the F word, fundraising, as a kind of a joke. But kind of just this dash of inspiration, feeling like when I'm sort of faced with a task that's really daunting or challenging, it's been really, really great to connect with other people, to listen to them in a difficult time, and sort of be inspired even in a tough and challenging task, or in this COVID-19. Look for ways that you can sort of be inspired to sort of get up the energy and the enthusiasm to do the things that you need to do. And I know that's something I've struggled with, and it's something I've been working really, really hard to do. But staying positive, persevering, and looking for those dashes of inspiration to help through some of the more difficult parts of my work and what I do.
Right. Okay. That's great advice to give to just our current students and also our alumni. So thank you so much for that, Josh. So we're going to stop for a few questions. We've gotten a few questions that came in. This one came in earlier before, so it's going to go across. It says, will graduating seniors be receiving any alumni merchandise?
Yeah, so every year during typically late night breakfast, the seniors get their t-shirt, and then at grad finale get their license plate frame, and at commencement they get their pin. Right now our hope is that commencement ceremonies will resume in August, and we will be providing that merch for all of our alumni. We also are working on a backup plan in case that doesn't happen, and so we hope to have more information out about that. Again, if you're a graduating senior, we have your email address. We're working with commencement office. And so we'll be reaching out to you, but we're really hopeful we're going to get to see our seniors. They're going to be, graduating in August, and we'll be able to take care of you. And here's another thing: when campus reopens, if you come to the Yeager Center and come to our office, we'll make sure you're taken care of.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just remember when I also didn't graduate during a pandemic, but I also want to say how great your office was, because I was sitting abroad during that time, and I just came in because I missed late night breakfast, and you guys even gave me a t-shirt. So just like the support that even though you guys give just all your students is just really great. So I just appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we love helping out.
Okay, so we also have another one. It says, what is the most effective way for me as a candidate to win a scholarship from your office?
Yeah. So our office is responsible for over $1 million a year in what we call donor-based scholarships. And those scholarships, if you work with financial aid, there's a list of what those scholarships are and the parameters for them to see if you qualify. Seek out or ask that question. I'm looking for a donor-based scholarship. And you should be directed to a website where you can look at those, and you can apply for those scholarships. Again, they're all a little bit different. They're set up differently from our donors and how they're structured, specific programs and things like that. But definitely work with financial aid. Ask the question, and we want to award that money every single year. We're not holding on to that. That is money we want to get out to students.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great opportunity for students just to get scholarships that they might have never had the opportunity to get. Josh, I've also heard you say this before, and I actually kind of, I've never asked you about what this means, but you said alumni since day one. And that's just super interesting to me. So can you explain that? Because I feel like people, now that I've said, they're like, what does alumni since day one mean?
Yeah, so as alumni professionals, we talk about what defines an alumnus. Well, for some universities, it's any student who completes, let's just say, 12 units, or the day that they step foot in their first class, the institution refers to them as an alum. At CBU, we value our degreed and our non-degreed constituents or alumni. So we have alumni who they came to campus, they came through 3 years, got married, moved to Texas, and finished their degree somewhere else. But they met their husband there, their wife there. They have this great connection and affinity to the university, and so they're still involved with us. And we may refer to them as honorary alumni or something like that. But the concept for us is that we want you to know you're part of this CBU Lancer community and family from the first day that you arrive. That first day you step into class, like, you're part of our family. We ran kind of a fun promotion last year for freshmen where we handed out stickers that said alum since day one. I forgot my hydro flask that has it. Sorry. But yeah, it was this whole concept that we are Lancer Nation. It's kind of a cool sticker. And we just want you to know you're part of this family now. And we want you to have the resources and have the connections and the networking opportunities with the alumni and being part of this family to make your college experience great.
Perfect. Thank you for explaining that. I think that's just a super interesting concept. So I really like that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So also for the people that are joining, this is Josh. He's from the alumni office. So thank you guys so much for joining in today. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and put it in the comment section, or there's a little box with a question mark. You can ask your questions in there. He's just talking about the alumni office and also some career tips and some just great advice that I think is relevant for current students and alumni. So stay on for ask Josh any questions that you might have. So Josh, there's an alumni association, and so can you talk a little bit about that and how can students be a part of that association?
Yeah, so everybody who graduates and is and posts a degree, we automatically you are automatically part of our free alumni association. With most institutions, alumni associations aren't free. You pay a yearly fee to access the benefits and to receive the communication and things like that. At CBU, it's free. We changed that when I came on about 3 years ago. And basically everybody's a part of our alumni association. And all we want is we want you to update your information so that we can send you the roundtable. We can send you the monthly newsletter. We can invite you to the lighting of the Christmas tree and the different events and things that we have. But everybody's a part of this community that's allowed to access the benefits, discounts on campus, the Lancer Loyalty Grant Program if you're going to continue your education into your master's degree. There's scholarship money available for you to do that if you're an alum. We've got some new emails going out about that. Actually, just dropped in our alumni newsletter last week, and it's going to be going out in June 4th in another round, just because we want our alumni to know about it. But everybody's part of this association, and it's really just about being connected. Now, you can go onto our website, you can fill out a profile and be part of our online community where you can see class notes and you can post things and pictures, as well as kind of learn about what's happening. If you make gifts to the institution, you can check your giving record and things like that. But yeah, there's lots of different ways to be involved. If you're looking to be a volunteer or to lead a group, we'd love to hear from you. Email me, jmoss@calbaptist.edu, or send us a direct message through Instagram, and we'll connect you with one of our groups, maybe that's already meeting. And yeah, we'd love to engage with you.
What's awesome that is free. I think that's like the biggest thing is like it is free. I remember when I became alumni, I was like, when I walked by your table during grad now and you guys were like, it's free. That would just kind of shocked me because I mean, obviously it's just not a lot of things are free. So that's awesome. We got a quick question that kind of goes into this and then we'll continue on. It says, as an alumni, do I get a price break on attending athletic events?
Yes. So discounted rates apply to theater productions, athletic events, even season tickets. If you wanted to buy season tickets, you can receive a pretty significant discount. You also get 10% off at the bookstore. You can use the swimming pool for a nominal fee as an alum with your family, which is pretty cool. And then you still have access to like the library and resources within the library. So if you're continuing your education, even at another institution, but you know our library, you know where to find things, you can still access the resources there, which is pretty cool.
Cool. All right, so we are going to kind of shift a little bit now not from the alumni office, but a little bit more now to you, and we kind of talked about your career journey a little bit. So I want to switch on to that. You did a career change. You used to be a principal, as you stated at the beginning. So kind of talk to me through and talk to our audience of like why the career change, and do you have any advice for students that maybe want to change their career paths?
Yeah, so I was what I thought was a lifetime educator. I thought I'd spend 35 years in education, 38 years, retire in public education, and I had visions of being a superintendent of schools and all of these kinds of things. And God sort of had a different plan and spun me in a different direction. And one of the things about a career change is it can feel really scary. It can just be like, no, this is where I'm comfortable. This is what I know. I don't want to explore other opportunities. But I made this huge shift from the public sector and in K-12 public education to work at CBU in a job that I didn't really know too much about. I was an alum, but I didn't know a lot about the job. But what drew me to it was exciting. It was a new sort of adventure, a new journey. And all it really took was for me to take a leap, a big jump. You'd have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, Rebecca, but most people change careers as many as 2, 3, 4 times nowadays. And so having the right outlook and mindset, positive attitude, and being excited about change is something that I want to encourage everybody to do. I loved what I did. I loved the difference that I was making. I didn't feel like I could do anything else other than that. Working with kids and I worked in a low income community. And so just that investment, that time, that's where I sort of really felt that sort of sense of purpose and meaning. But here I am now working at CBU, and I get to teach a little bit more, which was my first joy and passion. And I'm still finding those connections and that purpose and that meaning. And it just took that first step, and that sort of, that led to that big leap. And it's been really amazing. It's been good for me. It's been good for my family. And I love being at CBU.
Okay. Awesome. So it's actually an average, a person change now is 5 to 7 times. So it's actually,
wow.
Yeah. So it's actually higher than that.
Okay.
And
wow.
they're saying that it's like 30% of people in the workforce will actually change their careers every 12 months. I'm
wow.
pretty sure that's actually higher now with millennials. That's what I've been hearing a lot, is like a lot of millennials think that they need to change a job every year, or they think they need to be promoted every year. So I know that that's been changing a lot. So now it's like they're saying an average person changes their careers 5 to 7 times. So it kind of moves into my next question is, how does the alumni department and the career center kind of partner together? You can say from your perspective, and then I'll talk about a little bit something.
Yes. So when you're thinking about a career change, it's pretty scary, right? Like, yeah. Well, it's more than just polishing up your resume and getting out there, right? And so what we do is we encourage our alumni to connect with the Career Center. First of all, to have a Handshake account, access Handshake, look at what's out there. Be looking for what's going on in the professional space. Be on LinkedIn, attend a LinkedIn seminar, learn more about how to make your profile awesome, you know, and access career counselors like yourself and the folks in the office. A little shout out to Lisa Singer. I know she's on there, Mike Bishop, because they give incredible advice in sort of laying out the plan. Like, how do you navigate a career change? And they are phenomenal at being resources to help you do just that. Career fairs. Come to a career fair, hear from employers and partners, and learn about what's out there. The number one thing that drew me to make the change was mission, fit, and values. Why did I want to leave public education and come to CBU of all the places? Well, I was connected to CBU because I was teaching and I was an alum and I knew the place. But there was something about who they are, what they represent, that resonated with me that I felt like I wanted to be a part of. And I think that our Career Center does a really good job at sort of identifying and understanding who you are as a candidate looking to make a career change, and finding and helping you navigate that sort of mission, fit, and value, so that you can plant yourself in the right direction and start looking for positions and things.
Yeah, so it's just some things that that Josh mentioned with Handshake is just a few things. So alumni, actually, if there's any alumni on here, and I think there are, all our resources are free at the Career Center for you as an alumni. So everything is free. So maybe also you're a current student and you're like, I had no idea. That's something we offer to all our alumni. So like Josh was saying, if you're thinking about a career change, we're here for you. If you want to do, schedule a mock interview. If you guys are thinking, well, hey, you know what? I want to do a virtual mock interview. This is the time. Go on Handshake, schedule that appointment. Also, a lot of students don't know this, but with Handshake, you can actually go on there, and because alumni are on there, you can click the students. So maybe you're an alumni and you're looking for other alumni, or maybe you're a current student and you want to learn from other alumni. There's a students tab on Handshake. You just click that, and it's called peer messaging. You just reach out, you look at the certain people, maybe you want just CBU only. Maybe you want alumni throughout the whole United States. It doesn't matter, or throughout the whole world, sorry. And you can reach out to those people. So maybe you're like, hey, I want to learn from someone. I want to do an informational interview. You just message those people, and you can reach out and say, hey, you know what? I really would love to work for this company. I see that you used to work for this company, or you do work for this company. Can I just take a few minutes of your time just to talk to you about, what's your journey, or hey, what this and that. So it's a great opportunity for that. And if you're an alumni that's hiring, we would love to have you on Handshake. We want our current students to be finding jobs, our other alumni. So, reach out to us. We can give you that info. But Handshake is is our online platform where you can make appointments, you can reach out to other alumni and whatnot. So it's just a really, really great resource for all our students. And we actually are going to be talking a little plug-in. We're going to be talking about Handshake a little bit more next week on Coffee and Career. So if you want to learn more about Handshake, we'll be talking about that. So that's kind of everything. Is there anything else you want to talk about on this?
Well, just the way the Career Center I know has helped folks is that, like, you know, you have somebody who wants to leave specifically, you know, and I've talked to people who are going into the teacher credential program, because I teach there, and you know, they came from these other backgrounds, these other industries. They were engineers. They worked in aerospace. There was these other, and they fell in love with teaching. Maybe they volunteered at their church or something, and they fell in love with this concept of teaching, and they don't know how to navigate that, right? Like, how do I make a shift that drastic? And again, I think start with the Career Center, and then seek out people like me. Reach out to me, and I may know somebody who did something very similar. And I would love to connect you. And that goes for current students. I want current students to know that I'm here as well for you, because if I know somebody that's going in the direction that you're interested in, and I can connect you, I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so it just helps all around, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and, you know, put your questions down below. And if not, we're just going to continue on. So thank you also for everyone that is joining today. Josh, I see a circle ball of death. Are you still there?
Yep,
Josh,
gotcha.
can you hear me? Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah.
So, Josh, what is one of your favorite ways to network, and why?
Good question. So I'm always networking. Okay. Networking for me is not like a light switch I turn off and on. So I've got a lot of energy. I'm a pretty extroverted person, but I'm always networking. Every conversation that I have with somebody, I'm thinking along the lines of, from the perspective that this could be somebody I'm working with someday. This could be a relationship that I add value to, or they add value to. And so for me, my favorite ways to network are just to meet people and talk to people. Now, there's a lot of people who don't have my skill set in terms of, like, they love to talk to people. They're a little bit more, you know, shy or introverted and things like that. So what do? You know, how do you take that advice? Like, well, that's not me. I can't do that. Well, you can do that. Yeah. It is a choice. And one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to practice it. You see somebody walking across campus. Maybe you see me walking across campus. I won't have this beard, hopefully. This will be gone. But like, just say, hey, you know, I saw you on Coffees and Careers. And just start talking with me. And then I'll ask you questions, and you'll ask me questions, and we'll get to know each other better. You know, things like that. Take a step in that direction, and develop a skill and a habit towards being willing to talk to strangers. There's great books out there that you can read if you're struggling to do just that. There's an old saying, fake it till you make it, right? Like, when it comes to this concept of just networking and talking to people and engaging with people, sometimes you got to just get in there and do it. And then once you do, you start to get a rhythm, and you get comfortable and you get more familiar with it, and then you can continue on with it. But I'm always engaging with folks. I'm always talking to people. And it doesn't matter what sector they're in. I don't only talk to alumni professionals or parent professionals or businessmen, or lawyers. I mean, I try to find something that I can connect with in any area. And I go from there. So learning and listening are really, really important things to being a good networker. Is that I don't know if that's a word, but
I don't know. We'll just take it, you know. And also career fairs. So that's like something also as a great opportunity is, you know, career fairs would be, you know, that's where Josh is saying, like, if you want to just try it. We always tell students, you know, go up to maybe one person, an employer that you really don't want to work for. Get those nerves out, because you don't want to go to maybe, let's say, Pepsi, and you show up at Pepsi's table and you're blundering through things, or you're not showing your best self. And so, you know, just practice. It's not if you're an introvert, it's not fun. Like, I'm an introvert. I don't like those type of things, but in situations you have to be, because it's not going to be good for you. So, yeah.
And I will say real quick, the best job I ever had that really made me good at this. So when I was in high school, I had bagged groceries at Stater Brothers. Okay. I know it doesn't sound very glamorous, but that first question, paper or plastic, back in the day, before you had to bring your own bags. It was a starting point. And then they would talk to me, they would ask me things, I'd help them with their groceries out. And I just sort of developed this sort of habit of how to just connect with anybody. I had a job at CBU where I was the mail delivery guy. And I went around and delivered the mail to all the different departments on campus. And I made it a point to remember everybody's name, to ask them how they were doing, learn something about them. And I just sort of developed those skills.
Yeah. Okay. So you've kind of talked about how you've hired a couple people as well. So, or not a couple people,
hundreds of people
over the years. Thank you for correcting me. So you've hired hundreds of people over the years. So what are some interview tips that maybe you have for people right now? And just in general.
So one of the things that is important to remember about interviewing is the old saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And so I always say, like, be yourself. Come in with, I use 3 words: energize, synthesize, and connect. So be energized, look like you want to be there, right? Like, about the organization, what their mission is, you're excited to be there. Your eye contact's good, you're smiling, you dressed well, all of those kinds of skills, right? So bring that energy in. When I say synthesize, you're going to be given a short amount of time. An interview may last 20 minutes and you may have 10 questions. So you have to have, not completely rehearsed, but you have to be able to sort of synthesize the things you want to say, the important things you want to say. And you have to make sure you get to that. Now, you can't be thinking about your responses before you listen to the question, because then you won't answer the question. You'll just say what's on your mind.
Yep.
And that's a danger. People do that all the time. And we all look at each other on a panel and go, I don't think they were listening to me. Yep. But listen to the question, synthesize very quickly, and make a succinct and well thought out or concise and organized response. And then when I say connect, remember that when you're interviewing, the person interviewing you is a real person. You're a real person. Whether you're going to shake their hand or you're going to smile, make sure your eye contact is equitable. If it's a panel interview, you're not looking at the same person the entire time. But remember that connection is really, really, really important. Funny story, I when I interviewed at CBU, I was getting off a plane in Sacramento. I just taken a group of teachers up into a conference in Sacramento. I got a call from CBU about a possible interview, and it turns into this like hour-and-a-half long conversation where the person is just asking me questions about my experience and myself. And it was the coolest thing because I was able to talk about my passion, my experience, and leadership. And that led to them, I think that sort of connection and that led to them calling me in and asking me to interview. And then I sat before a panel, and then same thing, bringing my energy, making sure my answers were organized and succinct, and then connecting with everybody in the room. Because remember, they're not hiring a resume, they're hiring a person.
Right.
And so they want to know who that person is. Right? I mean, they don't want to just, you can't just expect they're going to look at the piece of paper and be able to just like figure you out. Exactly. Right? You've got to sort of bring that, and figure out ways to let that show. So. Yeah,
no, definitely. All right. So we only have time for just a few more questions. I'm going to take one audience question and then we'll finish our last question, Josh. Yeah. So one of the questions is, what is the biggest value for me to become an active alumni at CBU? I know you've kind of talked on this briefly, but just if you want to just reiterate this a little bit.
Yeah. So the benefits of being an active alum, I mean, just to be totally honest, we want you to be connected because you loved your experience at CBU. We're looking for ambassadors and champions. The benefit to you is that you're going to have an opportunity to network and connect with other alumni, faculty, staff, maybe opportunities to engage with our executive council members and different divisions and deans. And so the more active you are, the more access and the more connections you're going to build. And that's what we want to foster. And so I think that would probably be the greatest benefit. I think the other part is it's everything we do is a lot of fun. I mean, homecoming, parent family weekend, basketball games, plays. It's a ton of fun and it's safe and it's good for your family. And so come out and connect with us and engage with us, get a chance to meet some new people, bring some of your fellow alumni and classmates along, and just make it a fun social time.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, so this is our last question for today, and it said, or not just says, I have it. So you did your undergraduate, you did your credential, you did your master's, and now you're also doing the EDD program at CBU. So you are
I'm a lifetime with
right?
Yeah.
So what does living your purpose mean to you as a Lancer alumni?
Yeah. So, well, first and foremost, I want to say, I can sympathize with any of those folks who have gone through private school education all the way up through their master's degree. And I know what student debt's like. I'm pursuing my doctorate of education at CBU. Why all that education at CBU? You may say or think it's cliche, this concept of live your purpose, but as somebody who really started following Christ later in life, kind of took my bumps and my bruises along the way, it really resonated with me. I wanted to figure out, after everything I had been through, what does that mean? Purpose means it's bigger than me. It's about others. It's about engaging with others and helping and building something bigger. And so this concept of live your purpose, and that being purpose towards like, what does God want for me? What's his will for my life?
Right.
I just felt like CBU was the perfect place. And when I got here, everything changed. My relationship with Christ changed. My friendships changed. Relationships with my own family changed. The education I received was different than the public school education I had received. And I learned all of these great skills and these intangible things that connected with this concept of living your purpose and me actually pursuing something where I thought and felt like I was going to do that. And so I've done a lot of education at CBU. I teach at CBU. I'm pursuing my doctorate at CBU. But this whole concept of living your purpose, aligning God's plan and purpose for me into what's next, what my life and future look like, just really, really awesome. And I don't think it was unique. I think a lot of alumni would say to you, everything changed when they came to CBU. And it's not about a tagline. It really is about this sort of deeper thing that hopefully everybody's exploring and trying to pursue. And here's the thing. My focus on that, living my purpose, was a focus on what am I going to do after I graduate? And so I want to say this because this is, I want to sort of end with this, Rebecca, for me at least. Don't wait till the first or second semester of your senior year to ask these hard questions. Okay. Like, do it now. Freshman, sophomore, start networking, start building skills, do some professional development and reading and research. Talk to the Career Center now. Don't show up as a freshman, attend mandatory LinkedIn seminars, and then, your senior year say, oh yeah, by the way, for my exit interview, I got to do these things too. I talk to so many seniors who, student workers and things that are with us who say, I say, hey, you're graduating in May. What are you going to do? I have no idea. And so I want to encourage everybody that's watching, or just everybody in general, discover now what living your purpose means and the track and the direction that's going. Be praying about it. Be seeking the resources. Reach out and connect to us or the Career Center because it's just so important. And so that's a little bit about, I guess, a little bit more about me and a little bit about where I'm at and where I'm going, because I don't think my adventure is done. I don't think I've lived my purpose. I don't get to look back and say, oh, those 14 years in public education, that was my purpose. And now, how do I make more money? Right. It doesn't work that way. I'm still listening. I'm still seeking, and I'm still hopeful that I got a whole bunch more purpose to figure out. So.
Well, thank you. I think that's just actually a great way to end it. So, thank you so much, Josh, for joining. I honestly hope that people, did you have something?
Yeah, thanks for having this. This is so cool. And I'm so thankful that you invited me. I love talking to just current students and alumni, but I don't typically get that many opportunities to talk to current students. Yeah. So have me back on. I'd love to come back.
Let's do it. But thank you so much, Josh. I hope that you guys that are watching gained, some great tips from Josh. Maybe you are thinking about maybe you know, doing a career change or whatnot. Hopefully something that he said resonated with you. Maybe that's even living your purpose. I know we say that all the time, but he had a great, you know, way from him to say it. So thank you so much, Josh.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone have a great rest of your day.
You got it. See you guys.